to this meeting of the Nassau County Interim Finance Authority. We'll take a roll call. Les?
Lester Petracca.
Richard Kessel?
Chris Wright.
Charo Esdrin.
Okay, so we do have a quorum at this point. First is the approval of the minutes of the directors' meeting from June 5th
Moved.
of this year.
Moved.
Second, any omissions, corrections, or changes? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any extension? All right, now we've got the Healthcare Corporation. Martha, you're going to come up, deal with some of these contracts. We've got a number of contracts tonight that we're going to deal with. I have some comments on a couple of them, but we'll deal with this. Okay.
Okay, so the first item is the Nassau Healthcare Corporation. The purpose of this contract is to renew 2 existing leases with the Nassau Healthcare Corporation, which have expired for various county agencies. The 2 leases are being merged into one amended restated lease with the addition of the Department of Health medical lab space. The term is 5 years with an option to extend the term by 1 additional 5 years. The lease is valued at $10 million. The funding does not include the renewal option. The contract will be funded out of DPW's operating budget.
So the 10 is 5 years, $2 million a year?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it could be 12, but that's the option.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a routine contract, right? This is an extension.
This is an
of a lease
extension,
that
yes, of the
already
lease.
exists.
Yes.
It's really the county sharing costs with the hospital for some of the space they use, it sounds like.
The county pays the hospital for this, yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Made. Okay.
Chris?
Lester moved it, sorry.
Lester, Chris, you second?
Yep.
Okay, are there any discussion or comments on the behalf of the board? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, it passes.
The next contract is GGG Construction Corporation. The vendor was selected through an open competitive bidding process. The county received 8 proposals. The winning vendor withdrew the lowest proposal due to an error in their calculation. Therefore, GGG Construction became the lowest responsible bidder. The contract's term is 180 days from the notice to proceed and is valued at approximately $9 million. This contract covers the resurfacing of Beach Street in East Atlantic Beach, as well as the stormwater improvements. The contract will be funded with capital proceeds. Approval of this agreement does not guarantee future borrowing authorization.
Okay, thank you. First, do I hear a motion to adopt?
I have a question.
Okay.
Who was the original low bidder?
Uh,
Sorry.
It was,
It was
Stasi, yeah, Stasi, yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And are there any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make it.
Okay, Chris, I'll second it. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries.
Okay, items 4 through 8. So this is a group of contracts with the health department, and I would like to present them together since all of them have the same scope and term from September 1, 2025 to August 31, 2030. The amount for each contract varies depending on the historical caseload and the total amount paid to vendors during the last 5 years. Factors that also impact the contract amounts are the school or agency size and each institution's services. The county received 59.5 in state aid for these services, and the county share is 40.5. These vendors provide some or all of the following mandated services to Nassau County preschool students with disabilities between the ages of 3 and 5. Special education-related services, special education itinerant teacher services, evaluations to determine eligibility. The contracts to be approved are CAM Health Enterprises for a total of $52.2 million. BOCES for a total of $43.5 million. Tigerman School, $31.7 million. Interdisciplinary Center of Child Development, $17 million. Alternative for Children, 80.9 million. For all these contracts added, total 153.3 million, out of which 91.2 million will be reimbursed in state aid, and the county share is 62.1 million.
So a question I had, I mean, when they came up with the potential value, it looks like they had some historical caseload and then an estimated amount. I assume that they'll actually only be paid for the number of students they do serve. This is an
Correct.
estimated not to
They just
exceed.
have a ballpark to have
So they
enough.
don't get a fixed fee and get away
No.
with it if only
No.
10 kids show up?
No, and the rates for some of these services are.
Caseload-based.
Yeah,
Caseload-based.
it's caseload-based, and the rates are actually established by the state for many of these services.
And how are they chosen?
That I am not sure, but historical, they've been using these vendors, so.
And they don't have to go out and
No, there's
rebid?
no bidding. They are a pool of vendors established by the state.
And they choose from
They
amongst
apply,
them?
they apply,
So the state sets the rates and the state
Correct.
gives them the list from which to choose?
yes.
Are there any other questions on the part of the board?
Nope.
Are you hearing none? Do I hear a motion?
I'll move the block.
Chris moves the block.
I'll second it.
All right, Lester, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. John, you're going to get up with the guidelines for the NASA Healthcare Corporation? Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.
So at the last meeting, the directors imposed a control period on NHCC. And as part of that control period, the hospital had to, the board now has to adopt guidelines. Now, just as a reminder, in 2020, this board adopted guidelines which have been in effect for the past 5 years. But because of the recent legislation in May that imposed changes to the NHCC statute, there's a new imposition of the control period, which require new guidelines. So the hospital in mid-June submitted their suggested guidelines, which were basically the same guidelines, substantially the same guidelines that were previously imposed, which is basically the same guidelines that is also imposed against the county. We are recommending that you adopt those guidelines. The only modifications in the guidelines is that we pointed out we required specific forms, which is forms that we've been requiring by both the county and the hospital for a long time.
So for the sake of clarity and for the very large viewing audience that I'm sure is tuning in tonight, the hospital is currently under a control period, has been for some time, and subject to guidelines already. This is because the state legislation required us to create a separate track control period.
Exactly.
Even if the county is no longer in a control period. But they've been under controls, we put them under controls pursuant to the county's control period some time ago.
I agree with that leading question.
Okay, thank you. All right, that was meant to be.
Just to point out that these guidelines that we've discussed this with the chairman of the board of the hospital, Stuart Benowitz, is doing a great job, and I think we are developing a great relationship. And as we go forward, I think you'll see that. But I think that the guidelines came up early on because I think there was a timing deadline, right?
Yes.
There was a timing deadline.
They had to provide their recommended guidelines to us in 20 days. Then we had to adopt them, but we were able to extend the time under
Right.
statute.
Right.
We did that, so by today, if they're accepted, we've done it timely within the statute.
Right. But it was done cooperatively and fairly.
And it seems like we're arriving at a fairly normal mode of operation considering the other control group, the groups that are under control periods.
Well, I will say that the hospital has been very cooperative with us on almost everything. I'm not saying that we totally agree with them 100%, but we're working day after day at the top levels, right on down, and they're being very cooperative and trying to work through. I mean, I think you have to understand that it's a whole new leadership team over there. And when the legislation went into effect on June 1st, not only did the CEO resign, but she took with her almost all of the major department heads and leaders over at the hospital. And that left a huge vacuum over there. In fact, and I'll talk about it next, Dr. Becker, who is the interim CEO over there, said in all his years, and I actually just spoke to Mike Dowling about this too, they've never seen a situation where all of the department heads left at the same time. So there is a time period where, you know, the executives, the new team over there, even if it's interim, have to get their feet wet. And it's not an easy process, but I will say that, and I want to single out our staff, you know, Evan and John and Carl, and Martha. I want to thank all of you because they have spent more than half their time on the hospital, and they're talking with the staff at the hospital, the law firm that they brought in, Manat, Phelps. They're talking to Deloitte Touche, who's doing a lot of the forensic auditing, and you know there are a lot of areas where they don't have the expertise to deal with some of the governmental issues that we normally deal with. And I think that our team has been very cooperative in working with them, and I want to thank them. I think you guys have done a tremendous job, and I know it'll continue. And but I do want to indicate that because the hospital right now doesn't have a lot of backup, and you know there are a few new hires over there, but not many. And but our guys have done a tremendous job. I would say that, you know, I've heard from Stu Rabinowitz, who I talk to almost every day, that if it weren't for our team, they couldn't get through this time period right now. So I just want you to know what a great job our staff has done, and I thank you all personally. You've done a tremendous job.
Great.
On behalf of staff, we appreciate your acknowledgement of those efforts.
No, you've done a great job. I'm telling you now that the hospital, the board of the corporation over there could not have met if it weren't for our lawyers helping them to put together the meeting and doing it the right way. And I think there is a tremendous effort over there to do everything the right way, but sometimes they don't know what the right way is. And we have to kind of whisper in their ear a little bit, but we're doing it, and the relationship over there is very, very positive. So I thank you again, and thank you, Evan. Do I hear a motion? I'll make the motion to adopt the guidelines.
I'll second it, Mr. Chair.
Any comments?
Nope.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. The next is the contract with Richard Becker, who is the interim CEO. So Martha, you go ahead, and I've got some comments to make about this too.
Item 37, 2025 is an employment contract for Dr. Richard Becker, who will serve as the interim president and the chief executive officer for the Nassau Healthcare Corporation. The employment term is 6 months, starting June 17, 2025. The term can be extended for additional 1-month periods. Dr. Becker will serve at will, which signifies that either Dr. Becker or NHCC can terminate such employment at any time for any reason, with or without cause and with or without notice, and without liability except as expressly set forth in the contract. The annual salary is set at $760,000. The contract also includes certain expenses, employee benefits, additional termination rights, and severance pay under certain conditions.
Thank you, Martha. Well, I'll start out. You may also have some comments. Just to indicate that even though, you know, I'm at NIFA, I was involved in negotiating and trying to get Dr. Becker to come to the Healthcare Corporation. The governor's office asked me to get involved and to try and get him over there. And I just make a couple of comments. First of all, I think that Dr. Becker is a very unique individual. He's got a lot of hospital experience. He's doing a tremendous job over there. I think the staff is learning to meet him and to understand him. He's got a lot on his plate right now, but I am in constant touch with him. I want to indicate that I'm very satisfied with the employment contract. As far as the compensation goes, which we are required by the new legislation to approve, I helped negotiate that on behalf of the state in trying to get him over there. To get a guy of his qualifications at that salary is just, it's a tremendous bargain. And, you know, if you look at the salaries of CEOs of major hospitals today, they're double what he's making over there, even though he's interim CEO. He is there for as long as the hospital board needs him. He's working cooperatively with us. In fact, I think he's probably asking permission for some things that he doesn't even need. But I think he recognizes the fact that, you know, he wants to do as good a job as he can. He's brought in a couple of people over there to help him. They're all interim. Korn Ferry has been hired to do a national search for a CEO. That has begun. It's our hope that that search will last 2 to 3 months, at which time hopefully they will find the right person to be the permanent CEO. Dr. Becker will not be part of that search. He just wants to be interim. He will go back to Northwell where he came from.
So is that retained search or contingent? The search, they're getting paid a fee, not a contingency?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I just think it's the right
They're getting paid a fee.
Got it.
And, you know, they will be talking with NIFA, Stu Rabinowitz, and others. I do want to point out that the board of the new healthcare corporation is really working very hard. I think, you know, we've got a great relationship with them. We've recommended some of the people on that board, and I have to say that our relationship is progressing very well. As I think I indicated before, I talked to the chairman of the board, Stu Rabinowitz, who's doing a terrific job almost every day. And we are trying to work together. I think that, as I indicated when we first started down this road, is a partnership. And unlike the previous board and administration, we're partners together. We want to see the hospital succeed, and we will do everything in our power to make sure that it does succeed. I do want to indicate that Dr. Becker is a major component of this. I think he's doing a great job, and hopefully it will continue. And I think that this contract is completely appropriate, and I fully support it.
In that case, I'll move to approve it.
Second it.
Okay, is there any discussion about the contract? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, now we've got the white glove.
Right, the next 4 contracts, I would like to present them together since they're all for white glove placement. They have the same scope of services. These 4 items are amendments to an existing contract, and they are for supplemental staffing. The amendments are as follow. Item 17-2025 is supplemental staffing for NUMEC, for the hospital, and the term is from March 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2025. The value is approximately $4.75 million. Item 18-2025, supplemental staffing also for the hospital, for NUMEC. The term is 7/1/2025 through December 31, 2025. The value is approximately $4.5 million. Item 15-2025 is supplemental staffing for the A. Holly Patterson Extended Care Facility. The term is from July 1, 2025 through December 31, 2025, and the value is approximately $3.25 million. Item 16-2025 is a supplemental staffing for the Nassau County Correctional Center Infirmary. The term is from March 1, 2025 through February 28, 2026. And the value is approximately $0.6 million.
So the oldest one looks like it's for a term that's already occurred.
Correct.
Are they awaiting payment, or have they been paid?
Yes, they're waiting payments.
Okay.
That contract was actually approved by the NHCC board in March of 2025,
was a-
but it never came to us.
That was a meeting at which a quorum was present.
No, the quorum was fine in that meeting. That was a legal meeting.
Okay.
It was the May meeting that was.
But they never sent the contract over
No,
to us.
no, and,
So-
and,
We were in the control period,
and,
but they
yes.
Exactly.
So in the last meeting, a few of those contracts have been reviewed and resubmitted, and now we have them, and we're in the process of getting all the information so that we can analyze them and then get them for approval.
Are there any questions on behalf of the board? All right, do I hear a motion for all those contracts with White Glove?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Lester, Chris, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the White Glove contract passes. Hopefully, Martha, now that we've established a better relationship with the Board of the Healthcare Corporation and the interim CEO and his team, we'll get these on a more timely basis.
Yeah, on the line, there is a representative from Manat in case there were more questions on the contract process, but I guess we're, okay. fine.
Yeah, I think the materials were pretty straightforward.
Yeah? All right, thank you.
Right, terrific, thank you.
And that completes the items on the agenda. I will now entertain a motion for the directors to conduct an executive session pursuant to Public Officers Law 105 to consider the financial history of a particular corporation, certain matters related to proposed, pending, or current litigation, and personnel matters. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Lester. Second?
Second.
Charo, second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. We will go into executive session now. I don't expect it to be too lengthy, and I don't expect there to be any votes, but we will come back to adjourn in a little while. Thank you.
Thanks.
We're back from executive session. Do I hear a motion to come back into public session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We took no votes or actions in executive session, therefore I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good rest of the summer.
Yep.
We'll see you in the fall.
Thank you.